Hey guys, so we actually need to talk about vanity because this series is about like the things that I'm concerned with and consumed by as I close out my 20s. I just turned 28, so I'm in my last 2 years before I'm 30, and just sort of like, this isn't universal. This isn't what you will be thinking about when you're my age, or if you've already been my age, but just what's been consuming me. And like, I wouldn't say I'm constantly tracking my appearance and my vanity. There's like waxing and waning periods of it. And like, I think lately I've been in a season, I talked about this on Revelatory in my podcast a couple months ago, of actually pursuing outlets that don't prioritize my vanity, because so much of my life like really had been like privileging and like privileging and pushing, and maybe not an obsession with my appearance, but an attachment to it, because like as a woman, you're taught that like your beauty has capital to it. So like that's kind of inescapable growing up, at least in this current environment. And then when I went to college, like the running joke as a tour guide was that it was the admission center, the AC that I worked at, and it was like, we're all very facey, which is a word that I've not realized that most people don't use, but to me it's pretty self-explanatory. It just means that like you are like, your face is attractive, like your face is just like approachable. Like the people that go on like The Bachelor would be like facey people to me, you know? Love Island, not so much, but like The Bachelor, it's like facey people. And so that was like a running thing where it was like, you knew that a tour, like as a tour guide, it's like people want to be charmed by you, and they want you to sell the dream of going there and being like you. And then when I started working in sales, it is undeniable looking around, or it was undeniable looking around at my coworkers, that like our physical attractiveness was prioritized. And now I'm sounding like I'm telling you guys that I'm hot. And if I were, would that be a problem? Would that be a problem for you if someone thought that they were hot? Let's unpack that. No, I think I've just been like in environments where I've known that like the way that I present myself physically matters. And lately I've been grappling with some blemishes on my physical appearance. Most notably, a couple of months ago, I was scarred by a naturopath when I was out in St. Clair, Missouri. The vlog is up on Patreon if you want to hear about the backstory of that. I now have basically a semi-permanent stomach rash. And I don't get rashes. I don't experience like that type of physical alteration much. And I thought it would go away, and it didn't. And now I'm talking to my dermatologist, and like, if I want this to go away, I might have to pay for like really expensive cosmetic, like laser treatments, which I'm just like not really prepared to do, mostly because I don't have the disposable income. And like, it's on my stomach, so it's not really visible. It's like, it's visible to me every day of my life, and it's like a little sad. There's a little bit of like, and this is also sad to me, but there's like a little bit of grief involved, where I'm kind of like mourning the like, what used to be a very pale canvas of a stomach is now like marred by like this blotchy, like discoloration, and like, it just like aesthetically looks bad. Like it just doesn't look right. It doesn't look like what I was taught to think a stomach should look like. And there's already myriad ways my body doesn't look like the way I was taught it should look like, because I have scoliosis and I have a fat ass neck from my thyroid and all of that. But I've had many more years to come to terms with those things. This is like a brand new thing. And then I'm also experiencing this like tretinoin acne purge, which I have just been like showing. I'm just like, this is what my skin looks like right now, and plenty of people's skin looks like this. So like, what am I gonna do? I could wear makeup every single day, but I'm like, no, I want my skin to breathe, and like, this is how I live, so this is how you're gonna see me. But it's like, would my YouTube videos, would my TikToks perform better if I like, my skin were glass? I don't know. I think a lot of people do watch YouTubers because they see them as like physical models of what they could look like attractiveness wise. I feel like I more so model like my little philosophical ways I approach my life. or ways you should not, because it's causing me suffering. And so I have been tracking my skin. I have a folder. Does anyone else have a folder on their phone for skin where you just have photos of your skin over time? Like if you have acne prone skin, like you might, I know at least a couple people besides myself that do have this. I also have a folder for hair, but it's more so for like inspiration and like hairstyles I've had before that I've liked, so I can show them to future hairstylists. But I've been taking like a photo every day of my skin and then obsessively like sliding back and forth to see the progress and seeing like ways it gets a little bit better and then gets markedly worse. And it really deteriorates like my sense of self, where I'm like, who is that? And it's like, the restorative thought that I have is like, you've been through this, at least facially, I've been through this before, and I'll get through it, and like my skin will heal, and I'm not going to live like this forever. It's like the same reoccurring thought that I have of my mental health, where it's like in August, I was like really, really depressed, and we ran like a depression diagnostic with my therapist, and I scored like 18.5 or something, which was like moderately severe depression. And then we did it again last week, and I had like a 4.5 or a 5, which was like extremely mild. And like, so those things change. I know they do because I journal. I see that they do. And also because I journal every day, I see that like my relationship to my own appearance changes a lot. And there's times where I feel more confident. And it just kind of feels like the point that I'm getting to is just like, I feel like there's always going to be something that is not like at the level it could be. Like I'm never like, there's always going to be a ploy that I could use to like attack my vanity and be like, or actually not to attack my vanity, but to like plump my vanity, because I feel like you would think when I'm being self-deprecating and being like, you're ugly right now, that would be negative vanity. But actually it's like, that is what happens when you pursue vanity, is that you think about your appearance so much. And I don't want to think about my appearance so much. I really don't. This is like not what I want to be thinking about in my 30s, is like what I look like. And I feel like there's periods of time where I am so not thinking about it. And in general, like I don't want to be someone who is like so concerned with like, what can I do to cosmetically alter my appearance to make myself as attractive as possible. Like that's not the project I want to be working on. There's a very fine line for me that I've found between like exercising self-expression and then exercising vanity, because it's like, I love to pick out an outfit in the morning. I love to like choose my jewelry and like, you know, do my little very natural makeup. There's really not that much variation. I love to like think about how I want to style my hair and like the next haircut I want to get. Like I feel like that's all in like the way that I express my taste and like my vision. Like, you know, right now I'm in a season where I'm like, I very much want to resemble a 90s rom-com lead. I want to be a Julia Roberts, Meg Ryan type character. Like that's the gender like identity that I want to get to, is like that, whatever that is, like that's my gender. And that doesn't feel toxic to me. Like that feels beautiful and wonderful. But then the time where I'm just like looking in the mirror, like when is this problem going to be over? When are you going to be back and restored to like your previously beautiful self? Like that is so damaging. And I'm like, when can I free myself of that? And the best position I get to is just kind of like telling myself that like I will heal, I will recover, and getting to a better place of like acceptance with it. But at the same time, it's like, if you ask me would I rather live without the acne and the stomach rash, I would say yes, obviously, because it's also somewhat painful. So yeah, that's what I've been mulling over, is I feel like it's somewhat taboo to say that you're vain, but I actually feel like it's freeing to just be like, I've been so vain recently. I think there's a lot of people that are very vain, but would never claim to be so or take issue with that. But I'm like, in general, I don't think vanity is like a very promising area of study or focus. Like it doesn't feel like it's spiritually benefiting me. So if you found any helpful ways to like detach yourself from your physical appearance and vanity, I'd love to hear it, because I'm always trying to like dismantle more of my relationship with that, because it just doesn't feel like the time I spend on it gives much back to me. And I think what's also important here is like, I think I've strayed away from talking about this in a public forum, because
I know that insecurity can spread. I wouldn't even know, would I know that acne is considered unattractive if other people didn't talk about it? Like, certainly we've seen this on social media. The more that people talk about these negative, I don't even want to mention the examples, but they'll talk about these really niche underground insecurities that you didn't even know you could have, and suddenly new weaknesses are cropping up in your confidence that you didn't have before. So I don't want to say that I'm ugly. Like, it's one thing to say that I'm feeling insecure. It's another to outright say, because of these things, I am ugly. Because then people that look like me or that are also dealing with these things could think that they're ugly by proxy when they might not have before. And let's just say I have a lot of doppelgangers out there. Like, thanks to TikTok, I think there's a list of 27 different celebrities that people have told me I look like. And all the time out in the world, people will say they see people look like me. So I just don't want to cast that doubt in people's minds if I don't have to. I think insecurity is universal, but I don't think that we all need to feel like we're ugly. To me, I don't think the way out of this is by becoming not ugly. When the person I know with the most beautiful, picture-perfect skin is still spending so much time being critical to herself, I know that perfect skin is not the solution, it's not the cure. Self-acceptance is, it's always going to be that way, but self-acceptance is not something you can buy. It's not a laser treatment. It's not a pill you can swallow. It's very arduous, long-term, uncomfortable work. So let's see where I get. The state of being I'm in right now is far from permanent, but it's getting on good terms with the waiting for healing that's hard. I'm almost pre-embarrassed to put this out there because I know it'll be dated and I won't relate to it anymore in who knows how long. Almost every physical insecurity I've had, I've moved past at some point in time. I look back at the videos I made about when I was first dealing with Graves' disease and depression, and the grief and sort of drama I was feeling in those situations has super subsided. I'm always looking for a reframe of my experiences to try to put things in a different perspective or a mindset, because I'm not ever sure that my mindset is the best one or the most helpful one. And I think ultimately, this is an empathy building experience. I think when you come to terms with your own physical differences, you are less judgmental of others. So in a way, this project of healing my relationship with my own body image is not personal. It is communal. It's interconnected in the same way that harping on your flaws out loud can be contagious and encourage others to achieve more normative standards of appearance. Detachment from my desirability can be contagious too. I want to start surrounding myself with more people who have wisdom on the matter and have discovered a less egotistical dependence on their skin or hair or body or aging. So if you're seeking that out, I encourage you to subscribe and like this video so others can find it too. I'll be sharing more resources as I gather them. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you all next time, and Katherout.